Tiffani D, Dee-1, we're in Atlanta at the Indigo Music Festival. I'm gonna start off by saying something. A lot of people don't see the integrity of an artist off stage, but let me tell you what I saw him doing today, right? He's here to perform, book show. Where you live?
All over.
All over,
Yeah.
Okay, he all over. But wherever he is, I'm sure he serves all over. I saw him carrying a case of water. And so I look at people because you know what? I have to see, are they measuring up? Do they really live out what they say? And to see that, see him serving, right, as an artist, that shows a lot about your heart.
That's the only way I know how to be.
Right. And truly, he's really saying that. So no, but good stuff. A lot of accolades under your belt. A lot of stuff has happened this year. It's only halfway through the year. I mean, tail end from last year to this year. Book, Harvard Fellow, Tufts University professor. Touring. You about to go on a big tour. So what are you looking forward to? How do you set your milestones when you have so much going on and the mountain is so big? How do you set your milestones?
I think I'm past milestones.
Okay.
I think I'm just focused on God's will being done.
Yeah.
You know, like setting milestones and all of these accolades that I want to achieve and accomplish. Yeah, by the grace of God, I graduated past that because that's actually not something that God is extremely excited about. It's like, how many more accomplishments and trophies can you stack up? He cares about our character.
Right.
You know, so I'm in that space now where I recognize that people see the accomplishments and the accolades and the milestones. So people are attracted to that. But I wouldn't lie to you. I don't wake up every day with a board with all these milestones at the top of the year that I say, okay, I want to do this and do this and do this and do that. I'm not even doing that. And by not doing that, I feel more free than ever.
That's awesome. So it's interesting that I started off with the integrity and you serving, because at the end of the day, you're serving God every day. So you wake up as a servant and saying, hey, what can I do to make your name greater and not my own? That looks like, to the public eye, it's you first, but it's God first. All the time, in everything you do.
Yeah.
Even as a professor?
Yeah, all my students know that I'm a proud Christian. You know, they know that my faith is something that walks with me inside of every room that I enter, including the college classroom for the students that I teach. So that feels great. I couldn't imagine living life any other way, to where I had to code switch. You know, I can't let these people know that I'm a Christian. Can't let these people know that I'm a rapper. Can't let these people know that I'm a college professor. It's like, all of this is me, and it's gonna come with me everywhere. And I really hope that everyone can live life like that, to where you feel proudly authentic about, you know, whatever it is that you are. And you know, as I say that, we actually shouldn't be proud of things that aren't pleasing to God and carry those proudly with us, you know what I'm saying? So the things that I carry proudly with me are things that they aren't displeasing to God, you know? It may be displeasing to certain people in this world. They may not care about my faith or any of that stuff, but I'm just like, I'm either here to try to figure out how to please 8 billion of y'all, or figure out how to please one God, one creator. I do the math and I'm like, oh, I can give you that one. Yeah, for real.
8 million to one.
Yeah.
But the one that created the 8 billion.
Correct.
Right. It's funny when you said that. I'm gonna be frank, because this is who I am. When you said, you know, the code switching, right? And I don't know if you ever got this question, because you're a handsome man of God, so it's kind of like, I'm not gonna code switch and be this and be that. And so a lot of people code switch and act when they're married, they act single. But you've been single for a minute.
I know I've been single my whole life.
Okay, for a minute. But I'm saying,
I ain't never been married.
publicly single. Right?
You're single until you married.
I'm married.
Right.
So yeah, so you've been single for a minute.
Right, for my whole life.
For your whole life.
Literally.
Okay.
I've been on, you know how they got the boxes when you're filling something out?
You say
your
single.
taxes, you either single or you married. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I have never checked married.
Okay,
Yeah.
so some women might be wondering, because I'm a female, so I'm gonna talk to the ladies real quick. Is that something that
to God about?
Yeah. Do you want to be married?
I talk to God about being married.
Ladies, I'm asking for y'all.
Yeah.
You know, he get all the male interviews. They ain't talking about this. You know, like I'm interested to know for the ladies. Are you interested?
I don't think ladies care about if I talk to God about being single or not. I don't think ladies care about that.
Why you say
I don't.
that?
Hey, you care about what I be talking to God about?
No. The specific question, and I love this candidness.
Do you care about if I be talking to God about if I'm gonna get married or when I'm gonna get married? Do you care about it?
Absolutely.
Do you care about me?
Thank you, ladies. Again,
So,
I'm trying to help them. You know, you're intellectual, so sometimes you intellectualize. You know, but that's a basic question.
Yeah.
She wanted that. So she was single. She was single, y'all.
Right.
So back to the question.
Yeah, do I talk to God about? I think the things I talk to God about.
Specific to that one question.
Yeah, I think it's kind of a weird question. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I think that like if I talk to God about what if I'm gonna get married or if I want to be married.
Is that Dee-1's desire?
Oh, is that? See, that's a different question.
I mean, but if you leading with how you please God, I would imagine that if it was something that you desire, you would be talking to the one that you're serving every day. Same question.
Nah, it's different though, because when I think about what I desire and what I'm talking to God about, like it's really a unique thing when you talk about your prayer life, because you're not always praying for something specific at a certain time in life. It's just like, oh God, I trust you enough that that's gonna happen when it's meant to happen.
Got it.
You feel me? Like thy will be done is different from my will be done.
Got it.
You know, and I think that's that full level of faith in God and surrender when you're just like, God, the desires of my heart are not always pure. So I'm not gonna sit here and get to that point where I'm always saying, this is what I want, God, like, can you do this for me? Like, nah. If I feel like talking to you about that, God, I will, but outside of that, you have always provided over and above what I even thought that I wanted and when I thought I wanted it, you know? People look at my success and they be like, boy, that's crazy how you done did this or figured this out or got to this level. And I be like, that just show you how people's mind works. They think that I calculated all this. They think that I micromanaged all this, like this was a game plan of mine.
Yeah, like you curated it.
Go viral like this and say this and then go viral.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, that's the problem with people sometimes, is they think that it always has to be something that we did, as opposed to just focusing on being the best version of ourselves.
Yeah.
And then God literally doing things that it's like, man, I'm not gonna say I wouldn't have wanted this to happen, God, but I certainly didn't pray for it to happen like this or know how, and take the fun out of it too when you try to do it all on your own. So I've just learned that I'm like really at peace with not worrying about things, by just being like, yo, God, you keep telling us not to worry, and focus on purifying our heart and our character. So I'm just focusing on that, and life feels great. It don't feel like this. You know how you start talking about milestones? That's the first question you ask me. Like, nah, like I'm not a milestone-driven person. People look at marriage and kids the same way. That's a milestone for a lot of people.
For a lot of people, but
from the time they're kids, like, oh, how old I'm gonna be when I get married, or I want this many kids, and da 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 da.
If you grew up without trauma, if you grew up with some type of shelterness, but if you grew up where you saw life and you saw life being lived and you saw your family dysfunctional, that might not have been a milestone.
Yeah, I think that the milestone piece is something. I just know a lot of men and women right now who are living amazing lives, but all they're focusing on is one or two milestones that they set in their life that haven't manifested yet and haven't come to fruition yet. They are really like upset and worried, way more than they should be, simply because these milestones haven't been accomplished yet.
But let's collide the two, because you're a Harvard fellow and you can't get in those seats by not having milestones, by not having goals, by not having dreams or ambitions. Your target can't be all around in orbital space, right? So you have to focus. And so speak to that. Like, let's not mislead the people as if you don't have milestones or if you don't have goals and achievements, because you wouldn't have been sitting in the seat. You wouldn't be a professor right now. You have to do the work. So talk to how that collides. Faith must be, faith without works is dead. You're doing the work, so let's not mislead the people.
Well, that's
right?
not what you're saying. Not true, actually.
Tell me.
Yeah, like,
dispel it.
Do you know how I became a Harvard fellow?
I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Right. So
what I'm saying, but while you were there, you couldn't be aimlessly there. You decided to go through with it. That's what I'm saying.
Right, but the milestone piece, and I'm saying this is important that people understand that these milestones, like Harvard would be a milestone for people, like a goal that they were like, I'm gonna get to Harvard one day. I'm gonna do this. I had no aspirations to go to Harvard.
Right.
I didn't even know what a fellowship was.
Right.
So I need people to know that. I need you to know that it's like, it's not always about like, hey, you can't get here unless you made it clear and you focused all your energy on that. Like, I promise you I didn't. And then getting over to Tufts as a professor now at Tufts. 12 months ago, I couldn't have told you what Tufts University was. I didn't even know it existed. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like on my vision board of like, and then I'm gonna do this at Harvard. And while I'm at Harvard, I'm gonna do a speaking engagement at this school called Tufts, and they're gonna love it so much that they're gonna want me to come and teach there. Like, these aren't milestones. And I think it's, you know, it's important that people hear this, that it's like, and God really wants us to have, that's how we have that joy of just being like youthful and being like children, to where we're not overthinking these things. And when people see the fruit of something, they'll be like, dang, unpack your whole process for me. And they want it to be this old 10-step course that you can package and sell to everybody, how I did this. And I'm realizing the more and more that I get blessed in life, that the only thing to unpackage is me letting go of what success looks like, or letting go of trying to so hard to be milestone driven, and me just being like thankful for what I do have and embracing when opportunities come my way, just having the discernment to know this feels like it's of God, and this, although it's an opportunity, this doesn't feel like it's of God. That's the main thing. I be just needing a strong discernment to tell what is of God, what is not of God. You know, if you ever did any acting?
No.
So when you act and you get an agent, you know, you have to go on these auditions, and they give you these scripts, and you sitting here the night before memorizing all your lines, and then you go in there the next day, and when you enter the film studio and the production studio, you see all these people in the hallway lined up to read the same lines you about to go in there and read. You go into this room, you do these lines, and they got like 3 people sitting there just looking at you, the casting agents, and they looking, they're not showing any emotion, and they're like, thank you, and then you leave, and the next person comes in and does that. That type of stuff, I did my first TV show that I was in on HBO in 2012, and that whole process, something about that process doesn't feel great to me when I walk in there and I'm like, wow, I'm having to audition for this stuff. So I never really been a fan of stuff that I got to audition for. Meanwhile, I don't have to audition to wake up and be myself every day, use my God-given gifts, and then allow the doors to open for me. That's like, I didn't put in no application for this, I didn't audition for this. Like, these doors have opened, and all I had to do was know what to say yes to, and some of the doors that opened, know what to say no to. So I'm saying that because it is a different way of thinking that only a person in a real successful position can speak to, because when you get success, all of a sudden people feel like your words matter more because, oh, you at Harvard, or you on the Billboard charts, or you at Tufts as a professor, or you were going viral this many times, or you on the Breakfast Club, or you here. And now that I am in all of these places, it's very important that people know I actually didn't plan any of this out, you know. And that right there, if people could sit with that and just be silent and sit with that and be like, man, this dude got a lot of the things that might have been on my milestone sheet or my vision board or whatever, but what he's saying is that all of these things came about from him just saying, God, I'm just gonna trust you, and all I can control is using the gifts that you blessed me with. So one is being a rapper. I'm about to go out here and rap my butt off and entertain the crowd. One is teaching, one is public speaking. Using them gifts you gave me for the purpose that you designed them to be used for. And in doing that, that is where it's like, oh God, you didn't open doors that I didn't even know existed. Let alone, I want to plan out opening that door in the next 6 months. God is opening doors that's like over here that I'm like, dang, God, I didn't even see that door over there. Cause I'm focused on all this, and you fool around and bless me in such a way that you opened the door in the roof. Like I didn't even know they had a door up there, God. Like, bet. Oh, okay, cool. So that is something where it makes us just kind of like loosen the grip on our gifts and on life a little bit, to where we don't have this pressure-filled lifestyle that's centered around, I gotta do this and I gotta do this, and this how Dee-1 did it, and this the plan, and this the formula, and da 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 da. And then if you don't do it, you feel like, dang, like I miss.
You miss something.
That life ain't like that. Your life ain't like that.
You said a mouthful, and it's heartfelt, because as a homeschooler, that's exactly how it opened up and transpired for me. And so I hope y'all receive that. It's not about just setting milestones or vision boards, but it is about having vision, and it's God's vision. And whatever that looks like for you, He'll be there to curate it. That's what I heard.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. 100%. No, it's
Seriously.
Real. It's real. That's real. Like I don't want to be a caricature of what other people think my success is supposed to look like, because the way my success has transpired is something that I need people to see how unconventional it is, because conventional success oftentimes probably isn't of God.
Right.
If it's conventional, if you following somebody else's blueprint, unless it's Jesus Christ's blueprint, then that other person's blueprint is probably not meant to be yours. The same way that other person's fingerprint ain't meant to be yours. Mm-hmm. You feel me? It's so important that people do that. So at that point, you embrace your journey in life. You embrace your story. You look at other people's and you learn stuff, tidbits from them. But unless it's Jesus Christ in them gospels, you know what I mean? The other part of life is like, hey, part of the enjoyment of life is letting the story unfold in real time.
Yeah.
You know? So,
y'all, I'm sitting here and I'm really inspired, because you can tell this is from the heart. Serious. It's authentic to you. It's authentic to the life you're living. And I pray a continued success, even if you don't want to associate with that word, and however it unfolds with you. One last question. God has shown you His faithfulness. God has shown you His love in the midst of loss. God has shown you creativity beyond what you normally could do, right? You're an author, you're a professor, so He's shown you so much. If you could say, God, show me this, what would it be? Show me.
Just continue to show me the path to heaven. That's it. Just continue to show me the path to heaven. Yeah, that's it. And that's kind of like all that's mattering at this point in life. Is what's going to help me continue to get closer to God, to embody the character of Jesus Christ. That's some of the only things. I don't have a 5-year plan. I don't have a 10-year plan. And I don't have a dream car that I want to get. I don't have a dream house. And Lord knows, because people ask me this question all the time, like, so what are you trying to work towards? Like, you're doing this, and this, and you got all this going, but what you trying to ultimately work towards? And I'm like, nothing. I'm doing it already. I'm actually like doing it already, what I would want to do, and if something, or what I feel most equipped to do. So if something was to change from there, I'm open to it as long as it's in God's will. So whatever it means to continue to pursue His will and get closer to heaven, that's all that really matters at this point.
I love it.
Yeah.
Dee-1, TIFFANI D, heartfelt blessings to you.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.